Mr. Espinosa, I have the personal data form you used is not the form we use anymore. Do you have an email address for Mr. Chavarria?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I do have an email address for him.
Okay, can I have it, please?
It is Fernando Chavarria, Chavarria .fc Frank Charles @gmail.com.
Okay, I'm gonna have to have you probably put that on the record since it's not on the form, so we'll do that. Okay, Mr. Chavarria, you ready? Miss Sweeney, you ready?
I'm ready.
Yes,
Right.
Judge.
The court is on the record in M18-49222, the state of Texas versus Fernando Chavarria on the charge of driving while intoxicated. Would counsel please announce?
Matthew Espinosa for defense.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Chavarria is present via video teleconference. Mr. Chavarria, I have a document that bears your signature that says that you have been advised by your attorney that you have a right to enter your plea in open court, but you're waiving that right today and you are choosing to enter your plea by video teleconference. Is that true?
Yes, Judge.
And have you had an opportunity to review all of the documents associated with this plea today?
Yes, Judge.
You have a right to a jury trial. Do you want a jury trial?
I do not, Judge.
Okay. Now I have to say this to everyone. If you are not a United States citizen and you enter a plea of guilty or no contest in this court, you could be denied citizenship at a later time. Do you understand that?
Yes, Judge. I am from here. Yes.
Do you believe that your client is competent?
I do, Judge.
So, Mr. Chavarria, how do you plead to the charge of driving while intoxicated? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
I'm going to accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to set your punishment at 150 days in the Dallas County Jail. However, that term is going to be probated for 15 months. Your fine is $250. There are very specific terms under your community supervision, including an interlock. I'm going to ask at this time that Officer Monroe review the conditions of your community supervision. Officer Monroe?
I had one question, Judge. I don't know if I can speak that now or later.
Is this Mr. Espinosa?
This is Fernando. Sorry. I don't know if I can speak.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Yes. I discussed this with my lawyer. I do not have a vehicle to put interlock in. I have not driven a vehicle in 2 years now. I don't know how it would work in that situation, ma'am.
Okay, so if your lawyer hasn't explained it to you already, I'm going to put you in the hands of Officer Monroe so she can discuss the community supervision with you, okay?
Yes,
Officer
ma'am.
Monroe, please proceed.
Today you've been placed on probation for 15 months for a DWI. While you're on
Yes.
probation, you can't commit any offenses against the laws of this state or any other state. You have to avoid injurious and vicious habits, which means no marijuana or narcotic use. You're only supposed to use medication that's given to you by a licensed physician. Your own medication, you need to update your officer with those medications.
Yes.
You have to avoid persons and places of disreputable or harmful contact. You're not supposed to associate with anyone who commits crime. have to obey all rules and regulations of the supervision department, including reporting. If you're required to have home visits, you have to allow the officer to either come to your home or place of employment. You'll have 24 hours to let your officer know of any changes. So if your phone number change, address, email.
Officer Monroe, your voice trails off when you turn your head away.
Okay, sorry about that. You have to be working. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to be working in suitable employment. If you ever become unemployed, you have to allow the officer to assist you in finding employment. You can go anywhere in the state of Texas, but if you want to leave the state, you do need a travel pass from your officer. Support your dependents if you have any. Your monthly fee is $60 a month. They will charge you a transaction fee each time you make a payment. You have 24 hours of community service to complete. You have 2 business days after this day to contact the misdemeanor department to complete the misdemeanor orientation and be assigned an officer. If you have any court costs and fines, you have to pay those as directed. If you're driving, you have to have liability insurance. Show your insurance card to your officer if you start to drive. If you have an occupation license or driver's license, show that to your officer as well. You have some programs to complete. You have 180 days to complete the DWI education program. You're also required to complete a victim impact panel, as well as a drug and alcohol evaluation. If they make any recommendations on the evaluation, you will be required to complete those recommendations. Okay, if you get stopped by the police under the suspicion of a DWI during this term, the officer asks for sobriety test, breath test, blood test. You must submit, you cannot refuse. You will be required to have random drug and alcohol testing. Each time you take a test, you will be required to pay for that test. Okay, you are required to have an interlock device if you have a car. You'll have 14 days to get that installed. If you do not have a car, you have to obtain a portable device. You'll also have 14 days to obtain that device.
Uh, s- uh, sorry, continue. I had one question about that. How does that portable device work?
Okay, you have a time frame to blow into the device. It's 3 times per day at a certain time per day. You
Okay.
blow into the device. It does take your picture, so make sure that you're fully clothed when you are testing on the device. And because it's portable, you'll be able to take it with you. It's about the size of your hand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. During this term, you cannot possess, consume, or purchase any alcohol. And you do have a one-time Crime Stopper fee of $25 to pay. I sent you an email this morning with some additional information on how to obtain the handheld device, as well as to complete the evaluation. And my contact information is on there. If you have any questions, please call me around 2 or 3 today. Any questions?
No questions, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chavarria, can you please state your email address for the record and spell it out for the court reporter, please?
Yes, Judge. It's Fernando, FERNANDO dot Chavarria, CHAVARRIA dot FC@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chavarria. I want to make sure that we're clear while you're on community supervision. You will be given instructions as to times when you are supposed to use your portable device, and you need to follow those very specifically. And we need to make sure that you are clear that if you violate your community supervision in any way, you could be brought back before this court and you could be sentenced anywhere within the range of punishment. Do you understand that?
Yes, Judge.
Now, if you're having any issues, difficulties with completing your community supervision, I want you to be empowered. Know that you can contact Officer Monroe in my court at any time so that we can head off any issues that could pass so we can ensure that you're going to be successful. Okay?
Yes, Judge.
Do you have any questions for me right now?
Yes. I had a question about the community service that has to do with the probation. I was informed that the lawyer told me that there was a way to waive that if I'd made a donation.
That would be a question for the Office of Probation. She said, do you have any questions?
Oh, sorry.
Officer Monroe, do you wanna?
Mr. Fernando, if you could please review the email that I sent you this morning.
Oh, that's an email.
It goes into detail on how to make that donation.
Okay. Sorry.
No, no problem. I just want you to know who to come to when you have questions. When you have questions about your community supervision, then you want to talk to your probation officer in the field. And if you're frustrated with that process, then you need to call. If you have issues with your device and there are some concerns that you're having with that, let Officer Monroe know so that
Okay.
we won't have some violations on there that really shouldn't be attributed to you. Okay, and if you have questions about your term of probation or how long you're going to be on it or whether or not you can get off, or if there's some issue about of a violation that I would need to intervene, then you certainly need to contact me through Officer Monroe if you have those questions, because we want you to be successful. Okay.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Espinosa, I understand that your client has 4 days back time. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to give him credit for those 4 days and have that applied to all his court costs, fines, and fees. Is there anything else, Mr. Espinosa, that you need to put on the record?
No, ma'am.
All right, fantastic. Then that is all for the record. Good luck to you, Mr. Chavarria. I know you're going to do well.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Be safe out there.
You
Thank
too.
you, Judge.